Whenever I hear the true self, I'm reminded of the true cross in medieval Europe. It was sort of a mythical entity, and I gather there were several tons of pieces, far more than the cross actually contained. And I think that sort of captures the idea of the true self as this mythical thing that is probably not quite plausible, but a popular idea. I mean, ultimately, the reality of a person is what he or she does, and to say, well, there was a true self inside that was different from that, I'm not sure that that's defensible in the long run. Now, in terms of whether to identify more with reason or motivation, well, these are both important parts of the human psyche. The motivation, to my way of thinking, comes first. It's the closest to nature. We are more than animals, but we started out as animals. We are definitely animals. And like all others, we evolved to survive and reproduce. Motivation, as in desire, that's the closest linked to survival and reproduction. You want food, you want water, you want sex, you want safety, all the things needed for survival and reproduction. And then we come to develop those and to want much more elaborate and refined things. But motivation starts with this very basic animalistic desires for the things that will sustain life. Now, reason is where we move beyond what most other creatures are capable of, but it evolved because it enables us to survive and reproduce better, perhaps individually, also collectively, by sharing information and discussing with each other and things like that. So yes, the higher forms of self and emotion is in there too. Emotion is subjective reactions, usually based on motivation. You don't motivation is wanting and caring, and you don't really have emotions when you don't care. So you get things that sustain life, like good food or love or whatever, and then you feel good, and when you lose those things, you feel bad, and emotion starts there. And then reason is a way of using the powers of mind and understanding meaning to get what you want better. So people who say reason is the servant of the passions, well, passions are reasons and emotions are there to help us satisfy the motivations, which again are crucial for sustaining life. Now we can develop it on beyond that. Certainly people desire truth and religion and lots of other things not seen in nature, but perhaps they are structures built on that more basic set of processes. Now, other question is, do you identify with the unconscious desires or with the more advanced ones? If you think you should want something but you really don't, well, those are both parts of you. It's tempting to say, well, the real me is I don't really want that, or I don't like that, or whatever. But another part is the thinking that I wish I did want that. And so desiring to be different is a motivation to change. Yesterday I was speaking about addiction and Frankfurt's point about the second order desire, that the addict wants the drug, but at some point wants to not want the drug. And both of those are real, and I don't see what's gained by saying the real one is this or the real one is that. I thought actually it would be interesting to see if drug addicts have feelings of authenticity when they quit or when they relapse. There are several organizations which say, well, if you're a drug addict, that's who you are, and that's who you are for your life. So then when you, after a period of abstinence, when you get drunk again or start drugs again, that should be, oh, that's me, that's the authentic me. But that's only one side. There's also the authentic part of you that decided to quit, and maybe you did it under social pressure, but you wanted to be a good member of your family or of your group or to keep your job. And so those are real as well. Again, we differ from other animals in that we have an extended time sense of self, that we can want different things at different times, and those are all real. So I think a full understanding of the self has to give a place to both competing desires.